What's poppin'? It's your boy Janto here, and guys, I don't think I need to say this. Probably, mostly everyone relates to this. We'd all wish language courses in school were way more effective than they are. Like seriously, if language courses were actually effective, maybe I could have been in Tijuana right now ordering tacos. No, but seriously though, I think everyone overestimates language courses going into it. And of course, I'm not talking about college or like actual language schools. I'm talking about like in middle school and high school, and you got your Spanish classes, your French classes, your Japanese classes, all these classes with languages that well, I don't know about you, but where I live, you're required to take them if you want to graduate, literally. So, I think most of us heading into it, we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna learn some new languages, talk to some people in their native languages. It's gonna be cool. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Yeah, that never happened. Yeah, I took like a year of Spanish in like middle school, and like the only thing I could actually remember learning was usar la computadora, and I only remember that because some other dude said it, and I learned he played League of Legends from it, and we played together for like a couple of years. That's literally the only reason why I remember that sentence. I literally don't even remember anything else. I don't even remember the alphabet. But like we got like no, that's valid. Yeah, seriously. I seriously don't remember anything. Imagine a year of going to class every other day, seeing your Spanish teacher, learning new material, and by the end, you don't remember any of it. Now, obviously, a lot of that is on me. I wasn't the most gifted student in that class, per se, the most hardworking. I did end up with a B though, so I'll take that dub any day of the week. But seriously though, other than the student, I think a lot of it falls on the education system itself. So why exactly are these language courses in school pretty useless? So I think a lot of it, first of all, falls on the expectations that students have coming into them, and what they actually teach there. It's more like a combination of the two. I think the biggest problem students have coming into language courses is that they go into it expecting, like to become fluent. Or at least, their first language courses, because that's what I did. I remember when I signed up for Spanish, ending elementary school, going into middle school, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna become fluent in Spanish. I'm gonna go to Tijuana every other weekend, so, order some tacos. But obviously that hasn't happened, and like I said, I don't remember any Spanish at all, basically. And so a big reason of that is because students are not capable of putting in the work ethic to learn a language. As someone who's currently, trying to learn Japanese, it's a lot, You gotta be dedicated at least, to learning, and you gotta put like time, like at least like an hour in every day just trying to learn stuff, and trying to learn like grammar, trying to learn, at least if the language qualifies for, a whole new writing system, what it actually says, and of course what words even mean. And a lot of students, especially middle school students and even high school students, definitely just how lazy they are and how lazy their work ethic is, they're not gonna be able to put in the time and effort, especially contending with 5 other classes, to actually seriously try to learn a language. But as I mentioned earlier, it's also a combination of the curriculum that language courses in school have. As a lot of it isn't effective to helping students learn the language in the first place. So what do I mean by that? Learning Japanese, I've learned that the most essential thing to being able to speak fluently is grammar. And if you don't get the grammar down, you will not be able to speak a language. And as someone who is Filipino and still not completely fluent in Tagalog, unfortunately, grammar is probably the biggest issue as to why I'm not fluent yet. I'm pretty much fluent in understanding, Tagalog. Like if my parents speak to me, my grandma speaks to me, they want to ask me something, they tell me to do something in Tagalog, I got it. I know it is. Why? Because ever since I was born, it's been programmed in my mind. So I've heard it thousands of times over, so I'm able to understand what they say. But the thing is, I still don't completely understand the grammar because I never practiced speaking it myself. I'd always just respond in English. And that's the biggest problem I have with language courses in school. When I took Spanish and even Filipino to, get that easy A, you know what I'm saying? Got them easy A's. No, but seriously, I took 1 year of Spanish and I was done because I didn't want to take it again because I'm not doing. I was in middle school. I wasn't trying to put in that work. So I took Filipino instead. For middle school and 2 years of high school to like I said, get that easy A. And it was easy A's. Why? Because I can understand it. But even through 3 years of going to Filipino class, I'm still not fluent. And a lot of that is because they do not emphasize the grammar at all. And this isn't to like rack on my Spanish or Filipino teachers. They were both actually pretty cool people. I love my Spanish teacher. He was a lot of memes, whole lot of memes out of him, man. And my Filipino teacher, she was the quintessential Filipino mom. But the thing is, the curriculum that they have you teach in middle school or even in high school, it won't help people become fluent because the most important thing is that they don't practice speaking. And from a teacher's perspective, I can understand why they don't encourage speaking as much. Why? Because none of the students want to speak. They don't want to get embarrassed, they don't want to, a lot of people are antisocial, like me, they don't want to talk to other people. But the thing is, to get down the grammar and fluency, become fluent in your head, you need to practice this stuff, you need to practice having a conversation so it becomes natural, That's the biggest problem with me. Like I said, I never responded to my parents in Tagalog. I always responded in English. That's why I'm still not completely fluent. Like I said, before, they need to prioritize, well, first of all, grammar. And, as a bonus, like if it's like Japanese or Chinese, they have a different writing system. Emphasize learning the character system, because that could actually help a lot. Like I know a lot of people who begin to learn Japanese ask, why is there kanji? Why can't there just be like hiragana and you can speak in, hiragana? But the thing is, kanji actually helps a lot with learning once you understand its purpose. Like I see a lot of kanji in like sentences. Let's say I'm like on a Duolingo lesson and I don't know how to pronounce that kanji, but I'll still know, oh, it's the kanji for tree. So I could, using, context clues, I could realize it's a sentence regarding trees. So definitely emphasize learning that, of course. But most of all, you need to practice speaking with other people. So really, I think I'm just touching the surface with this subject. But I think a lot of people who've taken language courses, in middle school or high school could, understand, or even elementary school, could understand, where I'm coming from with this, And I think as someone who's now learning a language, I have much more perspective on this. And if I was taking these classes, today, I probably would have, asked my teacher for help with stuff, like, oh, teacher, can you help me, try to understand the grammar more? Can you, practice, having a basic conversation, that type of stuff? Because I've heard that the most essential or the best way to learn a language is to speak with native speakers so it becomes natural, And obviously this doesn't help with reading or writing, but it does help with, understanding words, understanding the grammar, and learning to speak with other people. And I think schools really missed the mark on this. I don't want to rack on a lot of the other stuff, that they teach in these courses. They emphasize culture, a lot. And, I'm not one to rack on culture, learning about Filipino culture in Filipino class, It was great, obviously I already knew a lot about it, but getting that reminder, it kind of felt like home, But at the same time, it doesn't help you learn a language. Having a quiz on, like cultural items won't help you become fluent at all because you'll probably never utilize that in having a conversation with anyone. But yeah, so from a student's perspective, work ethic, they just can't do it, especially since, they're teenagers, they want to live their life. They're going to have a low work ethic, especially since they have to contend like with 5 other classes, like I already said. And they want to do, stuff they want to do. They want to hang out with their friends, get food, that kind of stuff. So student work ethic will not help them become fluent at all. But at the same time, like I said, from a school's perspective, they need to emphasize grammar, and speaking a lot more because they don't, and it's a huge problem. So those are kind of like the biggest problems I see with language courses in high school. But, if you have any other, tripes with language courses you've taken, you go ahead, put it in the comments. I'm kind of, just scratching the surface with this one day. Maybe I'll go a little bit more in depth as to why these don't really help, or like these courses are pretty useless, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much all for me today. You have anything to say, put it in the comments below. Hopefully you like this video. Hopefully you could have somewhat understanding with me. You understood the video, you related to it. But this has been Janto. I will see you guys next time. Peace out and Bless upon Rieri.